One of the major Russian Orthodox martyrs of the 20th century is the Metropolitan of Leningrad, Serafim. Executed in 1937 at the peak of Stalin's terror, Serafim is one of the major hieromartyrs, that is, a cleric killed for his faith. His life story is truly fascinating. Born in 1856, Leonid Mikhailovich Chichagov grew up in an old aristocratic family of high-rank military officers. His father, brother, and many more relatives and ancestors were decorated military men in the Imperial Army and Navy. Young Leonid chose the same career, and after graduating from a military academy, he joined the Horse Artillery Brigade. In 1877 and 78, he fought in the war with Turkey, earning himself numerous medals and orders for gallantry. After the war, he continued his outstanding military career and retired at 34 a colonel. His family was deeply religious, and after retirement, Chichagov decided to become a priest, encouraged and blessed by the legendary spiritual leader, future Saint John or Ioan of Kronstadt. He served in churches of St. Petersburg, studied medicine, and was active in charity. In 1895, Chichagov's wife died, and he was left with 4 daughters. Next year, he was transferred to Moscow to serve as a priest for the military. In the next several years, he actively studied the life of one of the most widely venerated monks, Serafim of Sarov, and promoted his beatification. For that, he published a chronicle of the Diveev monastery where Serafim served and managed to meet with the Emperor Nicholas II, who eventually authorized their beatification in 1903. In 1889, after leaving his teenage daughters with confidence, Leonid Chichagov was ordained a monk with the name Serafim, after Serafim of Sarov. For 15 years, Serafim led 2 different monasteries, and in 1905 he was finally made a bishop. Until the revolution of 1917, he served in various eparchies, first as a bishop, then archbishop. In 1918, he was appointed to Warsaw, Poland, but the Soviet authorities did not let him out of the country. Eventually, in 1921, he was accused of making plans for anti-Soviet activities in Poland and incarcerated. Next year, however, he became very ill, and his daughters could manage to get him out of jail. He was then exiled, but in 1924 arrested again for his role in the beatification of Serafim of Sarov. However, the Patriarch Tikhon could manage to release the sick and elderly Serafim under the condition of living outside of Moscow. Until 1928, when he was already in his 70s, Serafim lived in a monastery retired. Then, however, due to his support of the acting Patriarch Sergei in his struggle against schisms and opposition, he was appointed to his last position, a Metropolitan of Leningrad, former St. Petersburg, where 40 years prior he had started his clerical ministry. In Leningrad, he was a witness to an active anti-religious campaign, when many churches were closed and clerics arrested and exiled. At the age of 77, elderly and sick, Serafim retired and passed the metropolia to the future Patriarch Alexei I. For the last years of his life, Serafim engaged in composing church music and painting icons. In 1937, at the age of 81, he was arrested again. Disabled, he could not walk and was carried to the ambulance, which brought him to jail. He was convicted by the Troika for the anti-Soviet propaganda, without due process and trial, as it was the custom during the Stalin's terror, and sentenced to death. 4 days later, he was shot at the infamous Butovo field, the site where more than 20,000 people were shot in 1937-1938. He was officially exonerated 50 years later, in 1988. The Russian Orthodox Church beatified him and more than 300 other neo-martyrs executed for their Orthodox faith in Butovo. 2 or 3 of his daughters would later become nuns. One of them, Leonida, took the name Serafima. Her daughter, Varvara Chornaya, after a significant career in chemistry, retired as a professor and also became a nun with the same name, Serafima. She served as a Mother Superior of the Novodevichi monastery and collected documents for the beatification of Butovo martyrs, including her grandfather, Metropolitan Serafim. Please like the video, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. You can support my work by joining a paid membership or sending me a super thanks. Thank you, and I see you all next time.